Man, that was a weird start to the stream. I tell you what, that's what happens when you have screw-ups. It was funny to see my face on there before I even actually hit the start of the stream, so that was hilarious. Welcome to the OnePride podcast, where we talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors, and in today it's no different. We're going to go over the latest Lions information for you guys as we're in OTAs, getting closer towards Lions training camp, where we can really build this team to get ready for that Super Bowl. So I am appreciative of everybody in the building. We've got Vash Sarwin, James Janella, Jonathan Anton, Kurt Kasperick, Ryan Barton, and LM in the building. Appreciate everybody coming in here right now and showing the support towards our beloved Detroit Lions here. We got to talk about a lot of things. Jared Goff rankings, which PFF absolutely destroyed. Having him as the 16th best ranked quarterback in the NFL, you really can't make this stuff up. And if you even talk to Lions haters or folks that are not Lions haters, but Jared Goff, who are more pessimistic about Jared Goff, they'd tell you he's better than 16th ranked quarterback. So it's just the same old stuff that we get as Lions fans, the same old garbage that's spewed out by the media. It doesn't matter if Jared Goff won a Super Bowl and he had 1,000 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. He would still be the 16th ranked quarterback. And that's just the way that it goes. And we already know this. This is something that's no different. So OTAs are going on here. It looked like Wingo was having a pretty good OTAs. And Brian Branch, he had a little surgical operation to clean some stuff up inside there, and that seems to be perfectly fine. Dan Campbell back at practice as he was dealing with personal issues. So, you know, a lot of good news from that standpoint. What's going on, Lisa? Ted in the building. Chrome, what is up, everybody? Coming in here. So, you know, nothing significant. We're not having holdouts or anything like that. Why? Because our players got paid by our team, unlike other players like Justin Jefferson and or Tua Tagovailoa and or Jordan Love and or who else that are trying to get paid. That's not us. We don't have to worry about that. We got no distractions right now. What's up, Pride Time Beer? It's still unbelievable to hear Lions and Super Bowl mentioned in the same sentence, isn't it, Pride Time? Isn't it, man? Pride Time B is crazy, but it's 100% true. And the Lions are a Super Bowl contender, and it is what it is. All we do is continue to draft. I was talking to my girlfriend last night, and I was explaining to her, because she doesn't understand Lions football, and the significance of what happened last year. I'm like, this literally is going to be made into a Hollywood movie, where you got the quarterback that nobody wants, with the head coach that nobody wants, with the Brad Holmes, they said that he's terrible at drafting, and in last year's draft, everyone said was the worst draft of all time, and it comes out to be the complete opposite of what the media says, and Lions fans are rejoicing as a beautiful season we had last year, except for the very end. Other than that, though, I mean, it was a great season, so to see this team just overcome every little obstacle that's thrown at them is awesome to see. Let's see. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Comeback Player of the Year by Erky K. You know what? We're just going to go ahead and do this because I figure why not. A little bit easier there. So, yeah, look, man, I don't know about Comeback Player of the Year. I think there's going to be some other players out there that will probably be much higher than Donovan Peoples-Jones. But, I mean, for the Detroit Lions team itself, he is a player that's, I think, is going to step up big for the Lions this year. You know, look, if you get 500 yards receiving, that's big to me, considering that you just got to make up the Josh Reynolds yards, and he only had around 150, Donovan Peoples-Jones, for the Lions, so I suspect he'll go up there. I think Clay Fraven will get more. And then, of course, the tight ends and the running backs, all of that stuff, they're all going to get theirs. So, like, yeah, 2 years ago, we were in a live stream wondering if we could win more than 5 games. That is an absolute true statement, and wow, has the things turned. It's just absolutely amazing. ESPN, Mina Kimes ranks Dan Campbell as a top 10 head coach in the NFL, and she's been showing some love to the Lions as of late. And I know a lot of people wonder, like, why she's and does commentary. I don't know her background, but I do agree that Dan Campbell's a top 10 head coach in the NFL. I think he's done a phenomenal job with a team like the Detroit Lions that's been significantly bad for many, many years. For him to do what everybody thought he wouldn't do. Remember, media were all big on Matt Patricia. They said this guy's a genius, a smart guy. He's going to really make the Lions to the next level. The media really liked Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia ended up being the worst coach of all time. And then they hated Dan Campbell. He's a meathead, and he eats kneecaps and all that weird stuff. He ends up being the best probably head coach we've ever had. So it's just funny how things work out the way that they do. And that's why, always just be patient and see what happens. We can't just really just make a judge off the move that's made at that moment, because let's keep it 100. It doesn't really matter what people say. It's all the actions on the field. It doesn't matter what I say, Mel Kiper Jr. says, what anybody else says. It's what the players do on the field that makes this team the way it wants to be. And they want to be a team that's physical, and they want to be a team that punches you in the face, and they are that team. And that's what it's all about. Folks, I'm going to be live on 96.1 FM today at 5:25 talking Detroit Lions. If you don't have that in the West Michigan area or in the Michigan area at all for ESPN, check it out. Or you can go ahead and look it up on Google. And The Huge Show, I'll be on there at 5:25 talking latest Lions news. Probably want to talk about the schedule a little bit. I'm just going to assume that's the case right there. 100%. So not a lot going on with the OTAs of anything to monitor of note. Again, these are generally walkthroughs or running around with just pajamas on, and that's one of those deals where you can't really judge a whole lot, especially with defense or defensive lines. So there's a lot to be waiting for till we get to really training camp for the Detroit Lions. So, yeah, it's been cool. So preseason schedule came out. We faced the New York Giants, and we should be having a multiple practices with them as the players as they do the team practice. So that's going to be good. So if you're in training camp, you should be able to see both the teams there. That will be really, really fun. Then we face Kansas City Chiefs in preseason. So that is actually a good game where, we can kind of look at ourselves and see how good we are against the Super Bowl champions, at least with starters and backups. Look, the score doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you that right now. I know a lot of people get really upset if we lose a preseason game. It's not about the score. It's about how your players face against their starters. Starters versus starters, backups versus backups. And if your backups are beating their starters, that means you have a good thing going on right there. So that's the type you're looking for. And then we face the Pittsburgh Steelers to finish it off, in which at that point we probably really don't care what's going on the field except for watching Hendon Hooker as we get prepared for the Rams game week 1 against the Matthew Stafford-led Los Angeles Rams. So, yes, a lot of lovely stuff that's going to be taking place here. And it's great, man. August is going to be a fun month. That's where we get to see our preseason. We get to see Hendon Hooker. We get to see these rookies that come in here like Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw and see how well they thrive against other teams. And then will give us an idea at least of what potentially could happen in the regular season. So I'm super excited for that one right here for you guys. And then next week they got more OTAs. I think it's May 29. That's when it's going to come in here right by my birthday on May 28th. So happily about that. So there's players that were not in OTAs today due to some injuries. And I got to say this, it's OTAs. Anyone that's got a dinged up injury, especially the starters, you don't want them to play right now. And why I say this, you just want them to rest a little bit. Because the Lions were playing into the playoffs and the NFC Championship game. So we have about a month more of physical beating on our players than a lot of teams in the NFL because we played a longer season than they did. So now give them a chance to rest up a little bit. That's what I would do. And they're definitely not pushing the limits with their players. They're not. Alex Anzalone, rest. Terrion Arnold, rest. Derek Barnes, rest. Brian Branch, rest. John Kaminsky, rest. Marcus Davenport, Taylor Decker, Jameer Gibbs, Kirby Joseph, Zonovan Knight, Sam Laporta, Emmanuel Mosey, Frank Ragnow, Enos Rakestraw, DJ Reader, and Nate Sudfield. Rest. That's perfectly fine. Don't get upset about it at all. That is just the part of the business. What is up, TA? What is up, man? I'm going to hit you up right after this, as I literally just got to my, see, busy that they're set to win a Super Bowl. He doesn't see a busy. Dan said he doesn't see a busy. That's why they set up to win a Super Bowl. I think, look, I don't really know what we're trying to say right there, but I think they're set up for a Super Bowl because they're good teams. They're well coached. Got a way of getting talent here, and they coach the talent up. And the players, the Lions players are, at least the ones that we got now, they deal with injuries. They got to fight through it. And that's something that you got to see from this team, and that's what they're doing. Dinged up, set through. That's probably why they got rid of Swift. They didn't want that type of stuff. I want to see Hendon Hooker. Oh, we're going to love to see Hendon Hooker. Folks, if you got questions, we'll do it right now. We'll do it right now. Here you go. We're doing the mailbag segment right now, so if you got questions, go ahead and throw it in the comment section with the hashtag Lions, hashtag trade, hashtag whatever, training camp. Let us know right now so I can see your comment and answer the question. Again, you could be featured on a video. Go ahead and put a hashtag in the comment section. Before you do that, though, or while you're right it up there, go ahead and smash that like button. Let's get to 300 likes in this video. Go ahead and get her done. Let's get in here. My guy, Raw Podcast, says, I'd love to see Hendon Hooker. I want to see Hendon Hooker as well in the preseason game. Extremely important to see the development of the quarterback who I absolutely love the Lions drafting, who should have been a first-round pick, who now is going to be the Lions' backup, and it's going to be epic to see. 100%. How do you feel about J-Mo with Motor City? Dan Campbell saying he's having a great offseason. Ryan Barton, and we fully expect J-Mo to have a great offseason. The reason he didn't do well, year one, injury. Year two, he was dealing with the casino and dealing with the betting and dealing with the suspension. Then he had a full time to actually work out with Jared Goff, and crazy enough, they finally got on the same page and are starting to work out. So if you're patient with the development of players, it will work out for you. Not every player develops as fast as everybody else, okay? Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for players to develop. We were very patient on this channel talking about Jared Goff, letting people know that him and Jameson Williams will get on the same page eventually, and they did. You have to be patient with some players. Some players simply do not develop as fast as others, and that is facts. So in the comment section right now, are you happy with the development of Jameson Williams? Do you expect him to have a big year? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue on here. Who scores first, J-Mo or Gibbs? Well, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Jameer Gibbs, not because of Jameson Williams. It's because Jameer Gibbs he plays two positions, running back, and he catches out of the backfield. So the odds of him getting a touchdown before Jameson Williams is going to be much higher, right? He is so I would definitely go Jameer Gibbs in that one. Question here from Sean Walsh. How do you feel about early bye week? Do you think that they'll cost us down the road? First off, there's two things I want to talk about the bye week, and if I miss your question, just repost it. It sucks having a bye week this early, and that is because your players get dinged up, and they need a rest by at least halfway through the season. That's not going to happen in this case. With that said, it sucks to have a bye week right there. You also got the Cowboys week 6. You can prepare for the Cowboys, in which we all want to beat. And a lot of the games are at Dome. They're not outside. So it relieves it a little bit. But yes, it is a problem. 100%. How many rushing yards do you think Gibbs will get this year? I'll go at 1,200 rushing yards. He had almost 1,000 this last year. I'll go at 1,200. It's going to be a little bit more than David Montgomery, and of course, that's just rushing. May 28, are you going to be live celebrating the 39th birthday? Probably not. I will probably not be live. I'll probably be hanging out with the family and enjoying the day with them. Let's see. Question here from Alex Lopez. Do you think Decker or McNeil are not going to get extended? Great question, Alex Lopez, and it's really hard to answer here. I don't know. I mean, here, Lions got money to lock up Lee McNeil. The Lions got the money to lock up Taylor Decker. Do they have the money to do both? Probably not. And this is why you got to draft well and you're consistently replacing, because there's just so much money to go out. But they could. It's going to be difficult. I don't think both will, but they could. They could. How is Jordan Love trying to get more money when he had one decent season after film and he still do well? That's a different story. Well, they don't have really any other options over there in Green Bay, and that's just how the market of quarterbacks work. It's the way it is. I know a lot of people get mad, well, Jared Goff got this money, but in all honesty, it's just how the quarterback market works, and Jordan Love's going to get a big contract, probably bigger than Jared Goff. And it's not, to me, that's just how the NFL works. The quarterback position, it's crazy, but that's just how it works, and there's really no other choice for Green Bay. What are you going to do, not pay him and then not have a quarterback? So it's one of those deals where you have no choice, and that's just the way of the NFL right now, and something that we're just going to have to get used to, that quarterbacks are going to get a lot of money and probably, like 20% of the cap of a whole team. Each quarterback is going to be like that unless you're really bad. The moment that the Giants quarterback got that big old $45 million contract in Daniel Jones, that's the moment that I knew that you're going to be paying a lot of money to Jared Goff, and all these other quarterbacks were going to get a ton, because Daniel Jones is a terrible quarterback, and he got a boatload of money. And so any other quarterback that's looking to get a extension, they're going to look at Daniel Jones and says, first off, I'm way better than this guy, clearly, and you got to pay me. And that's just what's going to happen. It's just what's going to happen. Let's see here. Next question. Who gets more snaps, Broderick Martin or DJ Reader? DJ Reader is going to get a lot of snaps. 100% DJ Reader is going to get the most snap. I know Broderick Martin reshaped his body, but he barely played last year. DJ Reader is a starter. He'll be out there snap one. Okay, so it's going to absolutely be DJ Reader. He is the guy to help stop the run and double team, and so players like Aiden Hutchinson and Lee McNeil and Marcus Davenport have one-on-one opportunities. So he's going to be a space eater, and that's what he's good for, and that's what we need him for. Let me know in the comment section right now, who do you think will get more snaps? Broderick Martin, put BR for Broderick Martin, or DJ Reader, DJ for DJ Reader. Blow up the comments with your thoughts. Next question here from Ted Cheney. This is a make or break year for which players? Offensive, defensive, special teams. I love this, Ted Cheney. Great question here. Make or break year, I will say for this year, when I look at it, I think it's a make or break year for, you could do Jamison Williams, right? I think that could be a player. I think he's going to make it. I don't think he's going to break. I think he's definitely going to make it because we've seen the progress. For a wide receiver, that would be that position right there. Tight end, James Mitchell. He may not make the team, but he better do it this year. It's a make or break year for James Mitchell because he hasn't done anything up to this point. So he's got to do something right there. Colby Sorsdale. I know that Colby Sorsdale was drafted last year, but it really didn't look good. He has a lot of development to do. And if he doesn't make progress after last year, there's a reason we drafted Giovanni Manu, right? There's a reason that we drafted the guard later in the draft. It's because we don't have that position locked up. So I think it is a make or break year for him. Legitimately, it could be. Let's see. So let's go to the defense there for a make or break year. How about we'll go in and go Marcus Davenport, right? Even though we just got this guy, a lot of question marks with him. A lot of question marks. Not a lot of people are happy with that signing, so he's got to come in here and make a difference. He's got to prove pretty much everybody wrong on that one. Emmanuel Mosley, make or break year for Emmanuel Mosley. We signed him last year thinking that he's going to be our number one. He gets injured, and now we do a veteran minimum deal, and there's a lot of other corners ahead of him on the depth chart. It's a make or break year. So that's what it's all about. Let's see. Everyone was tripping about getting the edge like it did Houston, Houston and Davenport's and the guy from the other league that he were leaded in sacks. We just got to see what they can do, right? We don't know what they can do. Just because you're good in the UFL or the CFL or whatever, those lower leagues, doesn't mean you're going to be good in the NFL. Marcus Davenport, the same can be the opposite, right? He barely played last year. Doesn't mean he's going to be terrible this year. So it's just a wait-and-see approach. I think with a lot of these players, it's just a kind of a wait-and-see approach. And that's really it. Another question here from Bo Booth, not counting returners. Who is the most important special teams player? Jalen Reeves, may have been a Rodrigo or somebody else. Love this question. Special teams with the not returners. How about this? How about go with C.J. Moore? We just signed back. Now, before C.J. Moore got suspended last year, he was integral towards special teams, and he was doing a lot of the fakes because he's fast. And so I think he could be if you're not talking about a kick returner or a kicker or anything like that, C.J. Moore could be the difference maker for those fourth downs, and those fourth downs are integral. Remember, we went on fourth down when Jalen Reeves may have been the Kansas City Chiefs game, get the first down. We get that touchdown drive and that drive. So it's moves like that can change, or it can win you a game or it can lose you a game. So I'll go with C.J. Moore because they like him a lot too, because you sign a guy after he was suspended for a year. Clearly they liked him. Did you hear anything about Green Bay players say they're not going to put in the work this year? I did not hear about that 9 drinks. Good question here. I not going to put in 100% this year? That's crazy if that's the case. I haven't heard it. But if that's true, that's terrible. That's awful. I don't know if it's true. In your opinion, which game is the most important game this year for you, for just me? Important game, not okay. So I'm going to take my emotions out of this question. Emotionally, I would say the Dallas Cowboys, but that's not the case. The most important game is the second to last game of the year, and that's San Francisco. If we win that game, we could have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. If we lose this game, we could be like the number 3 or number 4 seed again. Okay, so to removing emotion out of it, you have to win that game. You have to. If you want playoffs in Ford Field, in San Francisco, they're going to have a big win record. We got to win that game because that literally could be the difference between hosting a playoff game and traveling a couple weeks later back to San Francisco. So it has to be that game. It has to be. We're not looking past the NFC North, but we got to look at the big teams in the NFC now because that's the type of team that we are. Question from Alex Lopez. Would you be fine with the Lions trading a first-round pick for a player before the trade deadline? Well, Alex, it really depends on the player. It depends on the situation and where we're at. Do I want to trade a first-round pick? Absolutely not. But say, I don't know, we're 7-0, and there's a piece, say there's a pass rusher out there. I'm just taking a guess on a player. There's a top-end pass rusher that a team's trying to get rid of, and say like a Crosby, right? Not saying Max Crosby is going to be traded or anything like that, but there's a player like that could take you over the top. I would do it for like a Max Crosby. Other than that, I'm not going to probably do it because I do believe you got to keep your draft picks, and it's important to continually to have those first-round picks because that's how you make your team consistently good. We don't want to be good for 1 year. We want to be consistently good with a franchise that's consistently winning. You got to consistently draft correctly. That's the whole point. Next question here. Do you see the Lions sweeping any division this year? Oh, good question. Tough. I'd love for them to sweep the NFC North. I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm going to say no. I don't think we're going to sweep a whole division. It's going to be, we got a tough schedule, and there's a lot of good teams. So I'll say no for it, even though we did it last year. We did it to the AFC West, right? We swept the West. The Raiders, Kansas City Chiefs, the Chargers, and who's the other team in the West? I feel like we swept them as well. So No, let's see. Who will start at edge? Marcus Davenport or James Houston? Thank you, Raw Podcast, for that question. That's going to be James Houston. Or not, sorry, that's going to be Marcus Davenport, not James Houston. Marcus Davenport, they signed him in as an edge, and he's going to be the number 2 guy. That's just the way that it is, folks. Again, go ahead and hit that like button. Let's get to 300 likes in this video. With that said, I appreciate everybody throwing those questions in. Let's go and continue on here right now with more Q&A. And I'll get to your question, Nate, too. Do you think Ben Johnson, that we could make Goff and Hooker on the field at the same time? I hope so. I really like this question, by the way, and I truly hope so that's the case. Give Hooker some packages. Utilize his legs and his arm. It would definitely throw a monkey wrench into the cog of a game by doing that, because we haven't done it yet. It would be something completely different, and I would like to see it. Broncos, yes, we beat them. Do you think Iffy will play some linebacker, allow Brian Branch at safety? I think that Brian Branch is going to play a lot of safety. I don't know about Iffy playing linebacker. He can, for sure. I like Iffy a lot. He could play, to me, he can play cornerback, he can play safety, and he's big enough to play linebacker as well. We've seen his blitzes, his DB blitzes. He's fast. He's a big body guy. I think he could. But regardless of what happens with Iffy, Brian Branch is going to be playing safety, quite a bit of safety as well. And I would say predominantly safety, and the rest could be, some plays at the corner position in the slot. But we got to make Robertson, so I don't think it's going to be all the time. And he can play some linebacker as well. So we got a lot of players there that can get it done. That's 8 games alone with 2 division sweeps. Yeah, for sure. It's just quite difficult, right, to sweep all these teams. And I know we did it last year, and but it is quite hard, right? But we can do it. I'm not saying we can't. I was asked for a guess, and I say probably we won't, because the odds would be suggesting they don't. But you absolutely could. Davenport is looking better physically this year and will surprise a lot of people this year. I hope so, 9 Drinks. I really, really hope so. I know Raw Podcast and me are kind of on the same page here. He needs to step up. We need it to step up, because it's important to have that opposite. We've seen what happens. You don't get pressure, and you got to get pressure. Now, I think DJ Reader is going to help out whoever's on the opposite, right? Just having more guys in the interior, like a DJ Reader, is going to help out, because he's going to get double-teamed, and that's going to open up opportunities for a Marcus Davenport. So hopefully he can take advantage. 14-3, we lose some games that nobody's thinking of. Boy, if we go 14-3, that is a great season. That is so difficult to do, but that would be epic. Can you name 3 players in the roster who we don't see a lot playing step up? Okay, Broderick Martin. We talked about him. His body physically got in shape. I think he's going to take a step forward. Donovan Peoples-Jones, I think he's going to take a significant step forward this year. We haven't seen a whole lot from him last year because we traded for him, and he was down on the depth chart. So I see those 2 stepping up. And who's a player that really could surprise? How about Mekhi Wingo is a interior or outside pass rusher? What do you want to call him? He's a little bit light. He could surprise a lot of people with his speed. So I think those are some players that could surprise a lot of people who probably don't see as much. Let's see. Who do you think returns kickoffs? I think it could be Khalif Raymond. I think it could be, we've seen Donovan Peoples-Jones do it in the past there. You could see Sion Vaki doing it, the Lions rookie. There's a lot of players that can do it. So it's one of those guys. Probably Khalif Raymond. Khalif Raymond is really good at that too. But again, there is the different rules, so maybe it's a little bit different now. I don't know. We haven't seen the new kickoff yet, so this is completely new for everybody. So that's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out. Let's see, the coaches already said that. There's no favorites no matter who the person is. Whoever plays better gets the job. Houston can very well outplay Davenport. Yep, and we've seen this coaching staff. They actually mean what they say, right? You had Malcolm Rodriguez starting at linebacker, and he was a rookie. So they don't play favoritism at all. But I think Houston is not that good right now in run stuffing, and he's going to be put on a snap count. That's the reason. Folks, he would only probably played 15 snaps a game last year if he was healthy. They're not too. He's more of a situational player in their eyes. So we would love for him to step up. I want him to step up. It'd be great. Great for this team. How do you feel about the NFL getting rid of the chain gain? They're getting rid of it? I haven't heard that. The chain gain, you mean for like every 10 yards to use the... I don't know why they'd get rid of that. I mean, it's part of the game, and you're going to see where the ball's at. Unless they had some other thing going on, some sort of computer on a football, but it's part of the game. Texas will have Danielle Hunter, defensive rookie of the year, Will Anderson, and they're going to be scary. Yeah, Texans are a good team. Texans are a really good team, and they're going to be a scary AFC team. If you put bet on Texans-Lions Super Bowl, that'd be a good bet. I legitimately think they both could make the Super Bowl. Who is going to play the slot since Brian Branch playing safety? Amik Robertson will be playing the slot. Ennis Rakestraw is probably going to get a lot of snaps there as well. So he could be the backup. The Dern, what's up? Says Jameson Williams is going to have a big breakout season. Great show, Mikey. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think that Jameson Williams could have a near 1,000 yards receiving. And he's going to take that next step forward. He's good. You've seen it, man. He was catching everything. His route running was getting better. In a game, I didn't realize part of Jameson Williams, he was very physical. And I think he's getting that from St. Brown on the catch. He's fighting for the ball. That's something I didn't really see a whole lot in Alabama, that his game is working on here. And he's physical in the run game, too. So Jameson Williams is a little, he is showing something that I didn't even know about being physical. And you like to see that. When you see a Jameson Williams who is not big, all right, he's a skinny guy, and he's out there pushing and punching and clawing and scratching, you got the right coaching staff, because you're getting everything out of a player that, generally speaking, probably wanted more coaches. Majority of coaches would not get that out of a Jameson Williams, because it's not really part of his game. So before he came here, no more chain gain. NFL is to test optical tracking for line-to-gain rulings this preseason. We'll see how that one works out. We'll see. I can see there's going to be a lot of problems with that. You definitely could see that. Could you imagine but I tell you what, if it's better, it's better. I'm always up for upgrading, but I can see some problems right there for sure. But hopefully it's good. Look, if it works out and it's accurate, it's more accurate than the chain gang, I'm all for it. I'm 100% for it. I'm always for bettering the game of football. What do you think about our chances of signing Bates, the kicker? I think it's extremely high. Joseph O'Neal, look, he has been at Ford Field. We need a kicker. That is a kicker. He's in a league that doesn't pay as good as the NFL. He would love to make the jump. It makes a lot of sense. There's probably going to be a couple other teams that will like him, but he's got a little bit of fanfare here in Detroit, so I think he'll probably stay here, in all honesty. I do. I think our linebackers will benefit from having a big guy like Reader on the line. 100% agree with you, Joker J. I look forward to seeing Jack Campbell taking a step forward this year. Yeah, I think Jack Campbell takes a step forward for sure. I don't know how big of a step forward, because Derek Barnes and Alex Anzalone are going to get a lot of playing time, but hopefully he takes another step forward, and, that'd be good for this football team. And we're probably not going to bring back Derek Barnes, right? So when Derek Barnes leaves at some point in free agency, Jack Campbell just steps in, and that's the whole point in your drafting, right? You draft players, and then when players you can't probably pay for, you replace those players with the player you be drafted. That's the whole point in saving money and being smart. I tell you how good the lines are going to be. The NFL slot machine at Soaring Eagle Casino. I picked the Lions as my team and won $2,500. So I'm guessing we win the Super Bowl this year. Dragon fan Tim, if that is what did it, I will thank you if we win the Super Bowl for your great luck at the Soaring Eagle Casino. That would be great. I tell you how good the Lions are going to be, the NFL slot machine at the Soaring Eagle Casino. And I like that story, Dragon fan. I absolutely like that story. It says, stuck in Anaheim Hills. So, will I haters assume you live on the West Coast? I live in Michigan. I don't live in the West Coast, so I don't know if you live in the West Coast. I definitely apologize because it's an early stream for you. But I do live in the East Coast, so it's a 3-hour difference. Can this aging offensive line stay healthy this year, or will we see some rookies starting at some point? James Janelle, great, amazing question. And I think that I don't know about aging, but banged up. Like Frank Ragnow is banged up, right? He's 29 years old, but he is going to miss a couple games. Like, we know this, right? Kevin Zeitler, I don't think he'll miss games. He's a freaking fighter. This guy plays in a lot of games. Penei Sewell hasn't missed games. I don't think Graham is a guy that misses a whole lot either. So I think there'll be some playing time for some of these rookies. But I don't know about aging, but more the fact that they just get beat up. Mr. Detroit City in the building. He said that he is the GOAT, and that is correct. Mr. Detroit City is the GOAT. 100%. Let's see. So Jay lost this. So will the haters assume Houston was looking the same way in the first season? And what happened? They got him on the field. Well, look, I want Houston to come out there and dominate. But they don't believe him fully in his run-stuffing ability. I know this for a fact. That's why he's on a set count. So he's got to work that game up more. He does. And look, he can do it. I'm not saying he can't do it all. I hope he does. Look, dude, if James Houston come in here and be our number 2, and he's putting up great sack numbers, and I'm going to be the happiest man on planet Earth. That means you struck gold again. Like, I want to win a Super Bowl. I want everybody to be doing well. I just know for a fact that they don't fully believe in his run-stuffing ability, and that's why he was on a snap count. Let's see. Do you think AG will play more press coverage? Ooh, great question right there. Yeah, I think he will, Liam. I do. I think he's going to be more man. He does man quite a bit, but I think we got the personnel to do it. That's what he prefers to do. Yes, I do. Do I see more safety blitzes and stuff like that? I think it probably gets reduced a little bit because the coverage is much better, and I think our defensive line is better, and I think our secondary is better, so you're not having to force it as much. I do see a lot of man. I do, and I think we got the talent to do it. But unlike before, we were doing it last year, and we were getting shredded. You know, so that's just what they do. So, and we do got the better bodies, though, for it. So I think the success rate will be higher because the talent is much. The secondary was booty cheeks last year. It was awful, and it is a little bit better right now. So that's a good thing for sure. #HB. How about signing C.J. Moore? How do you like about signing C.J. Moore? Do you think they will contribute more this year after year-long suspension? Yeah, they signed him, and he's going to be special teams, right? That's going to be his main thing. He's a special teams guy. Clearly, they liked what they saw. He had to work out, right? So clearly, he's in physical shape. They wouldn't have signed him if he wasn't like that. So I'm sure he stayed in shape from the suspension, and he's still a good player. So special teams. That's why we signed him. So he'll be out there in coverage units and maybe doing fourth down crazy plays. Lions fan from Brazil here. I do my part, rocking my Lions jersey at Sao Paulo game, booing the Packers all the time. We appreciate you. You're doing your part in booing the Packers fans. Which team in the NFC North will have a turnaround season, Chicago or Minnesota? I would put Chicago way above a turnaround season than Minnesota. I don't know what Minnesota's really doing. I think I don't know, but I know what Chicago's doing. Chicago's got a good defense already, and they got a lot of offensive weapons. They're going to be better this year, folks. Now, I don't know if they'll be, better than versus the Lions because For whatever reason, I don't understand this, but Justin Fields was always tearing us up. And so, like, will they be beating us like that? I don't know, because Caleb Williams is more of a passer. He uses his legs, but he's like a Patrick Mahomes type of guy to where he's actually going to pass. Unlike shredding us with legs when Justin Fields just shredded us every time he ran. Yeah, we got a tough division. The NFC North may be the best division of football. It really could be, right? The Lions are a good team. The Packers are a good team. And I think Chicago is definitely on their way up. And Minnesota, I think they're the bottom feeders right now, but they could be a 7-win team. So if you're the worst team in your division is like a 7-win football team, that's a damn good division. So, yeah, I think the NFC North is tough, and it will toughen us up even more, right? We're facing tough teams constantly, and that's going to be a benefit down the road. Packers did get a new defensive coach and will be excellent. The Packers are a good team, man. As much as I don't like the Packers, we can't ignore. I can't just say, oh, Lions easily going to kick their butt. That's foolish. That's not going to be the case. All right, that's just not. They're good teams. What percentage of carries do you think Gibbs gets? In my opinion, he gets 60%, Monty 40%. That's kind of what I'm going with, Dern. I agree with you. So is the opposite last year, Dern? It was more Montgomery than it is Jameer, and I think now Jameer is going to get more. But because, look, Montgomery's last year in Detroit is this year. Do you think they re-sign him? I mean, I would like for them to re-sign him. I don't think they will, though, right? Maybe they'll try, but they want to make Jameer Gibbs the premier running back, and it's time for him to be the premier running. He's the better running back, and I love Montgomery. Montgomery's awesome. That's not hating him. It's just I think Jameer Gibbs is that great. So I think it'd be 60-40. I'm with you. I don't want Jameer Gibbs to get like 80% to 20, because then you're going to be tired for the playoffs, and and Dave Montgomery has got a lot of talent as well. So, but 60-40 is kind of what I'd like to see this year, and that's what I absolutely think the Lions are going to do. Yeah, Mike, I also don't like the Packers. Just something in common, I guess. Yeah, a lot of Lions fans don't like Packer fans because they've been winning and winning and winning and winning and winning and winning, and it's been annoying. What up, Mike from Dylan? Let's see, do you really think that the Vikings will go for JJ to start the season? I don't think he's going to start the season. I think he needs to sit a season, get thrown into it right away. I don't think he starts it. I think he finishes it. I think it's going to be like halfway through the season, Sam Darnold gets benched, and then J.J. McCarthy will come in. I don't think he should be starting week 1. Well, look, if I want the Vikings to lose, I want him starting week 1, right? Because I think that, rookie quarterbacks, they're going to mess up, right? That's what they do. But I think Sam Darnold starts the season. He finishes the season. Yeah, Montgomery is a workhorse. And so you don't want to, but you do want to give more to Gibbs because he is a great running back. So I love Montgomery. I think he's better than Williams we had last year. He's awesome. I mean, we got the best. I think we got the best duo in running backs in football. I think we do. That's how I really like our running game. So it's not disrespect to David Montgomery. He's awesome. He's awesome. I like when we had Javid Best and Joik Bell, too. That was a great combination when they both were healthy. That's what this kind of reminds me of now. Like, right, you got that combination of fast, speedy, Chris Johnson, running back who can do it all, who is very patient, fast, sees the hole. He developed each game, was getting better in recognition and being patient to following his linemen. Then you got David Montgomery, who's the pounder. He just pounds the crap out of you, and it's hard to take him down. He's always gaining yards. That's a great combination of running backs to have. It is the yin and the yang. That's what it is. That's what many teams would like to have, is a running back situation like Detroit. So they're both great running backs. Folks, I've been on for 45 minutes, and I got to do some other stuff here. That's just the bottom line. So I'm probably going to be getting off here about right now, and I appreciate everybody hanging out. And with that said, folks, adios.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't want to be